like, dude, your whole life for 25 years, bro, I thought NFL, NFL, CFL, NFL. This is how people identified me.
Right.
And it's important. Okay, this is how people identified me. Everybody identified me as a football player, as an athlete, as this, right? And I think it's important that you start to identify yourself and start to detach yourself from what other people think of you. Doesn't matter. It's all about
100%.
what you think. It's between you and you.
100.
Whatever you think about yourself is what you are.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the important part.
And
It's
I'll
like detaching and attaching to yourself,
it's yeah,
finding
like
your inner happiness. And that has nothing to do with a job. That has nothing to do with football or a sport or anything like that. It's all about you. It's just you and you. It's like if I'm like right now, I'm happy. I feel extremely happy. And I started to learn that I actually wasn't happy when I was playing football. I was actually wasn't happy. I was like, I was around a lot of people, some of those people, like, I don't feel like we're like real, I say like real friends. I'm like, I treated them as real friends, but they might not have been real friends. You know what I mean? And they're still cool. Like me and everybody I'm cool with fucking everybody. But my point is like, I was feeding it, like giving them my energy, and you're very limited on energy. And it's like, if they're not reciprocating that energy and we're both not growing as individuals, and I was like codependent, and I had a million different problems that I hadn't addressed. But once I started to like branch off and just do my own thing, like unapologetically, and like kind of like rebelling and just doing whatever I wanted to do. And I was like, dude, like, and it's funny because people think I want to play football now. Like,
yeah,
people think like, they're like, oh, well, like, and I'm like, no, I actually don't want to play football. Like, I love my independence. I love creating my own schedule. I love what I'm able to do now, and I'm able to still challenge myself in a competitive way. I love jujitsu. I do jujitsu every day.
yeah,
Like you do boxing. Like I think doing a mixed martial arts sport is incredible for anybody that's just like soul searching.
yeah.
I think it's so awesome, and I
Mhm.
think just finding healthy, productive ways to express yourself is important. If I had to give you a simple answer, but there's so much work that you have to do to get there, because it's like, dude, your whole life for 25 years, bro, I thought NFL, NFL, CFL, NFL. This is how people identified me.
Right.
And it's important. Okay, this is how people identified me. Everybody identified me as a football player, as an athlete, as this, right? And I think it's important that you start to identify yourself and start to detach yourself from what other people think of you. Doesn't matter. It's all about
100%.
what you think. It's between you and you.
100.
Whatever you think about yourself is what you are.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the important part.
And
It's
I'll
like detaching and attaching to yourself.
it's yeah, like you said, refining yourself, reshaping, the identity that you put on yourself and others, put on you too. Like, kind of boxing, like boxing your life into, oh, he's this, you're that, you're that. But I'm glad you said that, and as cliche as it sounds, like, oh, in your 20s, you're gonna find yourself. And I really, man, I really am. And I'll say this. I wasn't happy like the last year I was playing football. I just noticed I was like, man, it's just like it's just different. I love football, but like I said, I wasn't happy. So actually had one more year left to play. I didn't take it. I went and boxed. And so I feel like I
Nice.
graduated in 2019. I did great. 7-0. Won the Golden Gloves. I was supposed to represent New Mexico in the because I won the heavyweight Golden Gloves championship in
Oh, beautiful.
2020.
Yeah, nice,
I
bro.
won it in February, and then I was supposed to go represent New Mexico in March. COVID hit, right? And those
Yeah,
weeks, I didn't look at it as a blessing in disguise. I was like, man, this fucked up my momentum. Like, what the fuck? What am I gonna do now? Because there was no fights
right.
going on. So, like I said, a couple months go by, and I'm really taking that time to self-reflect. I'm like, man, what am I doing? Why am I boxing? I asked myself that question. Am I boxing for me? And what I came to find, in those months of reflecting was, I was boxing for everybody else because
Yeah,
that identity, everyone was like, I saw how much joy and happiness my athletic talents brought everybody else. And
yeah, man.
I wanted to keep feeding that to everybody because I was doing my thing, like, football, boxing. And, I was like, I started detaching myself. I was like, nah, like I learned so many great lessons. Like I'm more than that. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of
Yeah,
helped spark my like identity search, and right now I'm still
right.
going through it, but like like you were saying, you started to,
Everybody is.
yeah,
Everybody
everybody,
is.
yeah, and people, some
Fuck
people
yeah, bro.
aren't aware of it. Some people are. I would like to say, like, you're gonna get, if you're not already aware of it at this age, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. And you don't even have to be an athlete. This is just period. Your identity crisis could hit whenever. But yeah, bro, I
Yeah,
was like, fuck, I'm not boxing for me. I'm boxing to keep everyone else happy. So that's when I kind of
right.
started tuning in. I was like, what am I good at? What do I love doing? But yeah, then